So back on to my dad's Mark III. Definitely a lot of sludge. Rusty, sweet. Blockage, crusty coolant. All the valves are still present and correct. Roger, the plastic Fiesta is on van duties today. I've made it to Clumpfab. How you doing?
Bad yourself?
Yeah, good. Mark II Escort rally car. Nissan Silvia, S14, Chrysler, Sunbeam. How you doing, Loki? 4-door Mark II Escort.
What have you done?
Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today I'm around the garage on my break time from work. You'll have to excuse the noise in the background. My neighbour's got his generator running. Today I've been spending a bit of time on my dad's Mark III. But before I show you what I've been up to with that, I want to talk briefly about FIESTA, my ST170 powered Mark I Escort. If you're wondering why there's a massive dent in her rear quarter, go and check out the last video, but we're going to brush past that today. One thing I did today, following some of your advice, is actually loosen this alternator belt back off a bit. Now I'm pretty sure that isn't too much tension now. This belt is a bit sort of stretchy in a way compared to some other auxiliary belts that I've used. So I think it probably would have been all right, you know, super tight how I had it. But yeah, now I have loosened it off a bit and the alternator still seems to be charging the battery, so happy days. I can only guess that the problems I had before were due to the fact that this battery got completely drained. And yeah, now that I've recharged it, it's working fine. There is one other thing that I forgot to mention in the last video. In the video before last, I mentioned that FIESTA really doesn't do a good job of keeping the rain out. The windscreen leaks when it's raining. So what I did recently is I basically put some silicone sealer on the windscreen rubber. I'm not going to bother lifting it up now, but basically I lifted up this part of the rubber and then just put a bead all the way around. And ever since I did that, it does seem to not let the water in. I haven't been out in heavy rain. You know, I don't really want to drive this car in heavy rain, but I did get caught out once, which made me realise that it was leaking. But yeah, when I washed the car since putting that sealer on, yeah, it seems to keep the water out. So back on to my dad's Mark III. The first thing worth mentioning is that when Chris KEMBER at Clumpfab saw the video where I absolutely mullered this bottom bolt hole trying to get the snapped stud out of there, he actually said that this head is still savable, so I'm not going to bother buying another cylinder head. I'm going to be sending this cylinder head to Chris KEMBER at Clumpfab. Today I've begun the process of removing things from the cylinder head. As you can see, I've got the distributor removed. That's just held on with these two bolts, and I've actually put a couple of nuts on the back of them so that I can keep those bolts with the Dizzy. You'll note as well that this Dizzy has a little notch in it here, and the cylinder head has a notch in it here, which means I'll be able to put it back together without having to worry about the ignition timing being off. Another thing I've removed is the fuel pump, and this was replaced shortly after my dad got this car. And the fuel pipes for the fuel pump, you've got one here which is attached to the carb, so I'm going to leave that, and then this other one which goes from the tank, and I've just labelled that, and that can stay there. I've also removed the linkage from the carburetor, and I've put this bit of tape around here to hold the clip on. I've got this vacuum hose sitting over here out the way that actually runs along to the Dizzy. And a couple of bits over here to remove. Got the engine hoist eye and the water temperature sender. But right now I need to get back to work, so I'm going to continue this video when I'm next round here working on the Mark III. So I'll see you in a sec. It's a new day and I'm back round the garage on my break from work. I've done a bit of research and I've found out that with this arrow facing upwards on the cam pulley, there's actually a dimple for it to point towards. And with the notch on the crank pulley pointing towards the TDC mark on this plastic cover, the engine now is at TDC. So I can now safely, you know, remove the belts and take the cylinder head off. But first, I think I'm going to remove the inlet manifold and the exhaust manifold. I'm going to leave the exhaust attached to the exhaust manifold, and I'm going to leave the carb attached to the inlet manifold. And I'm hoping to not have to disconnect any of the plumbing on the carb and the inlet manifold. I'm hoping I can just pull it off the head and, you know, rest it down there or tie it to something. I think I'll give the exhaust manifold nuts another spray with WD and crack on with the inlet manifold first. So we've got these nuts and studs that hold the inlet manifold to the head. And this engine hoist eye has actually got an earth strap attached to it. It's actually bolted to two of the studs for the inlet manifold. So yeah, I can just just leave that hanging in the engine bay. I do love these ratchet spanners. So in theory this should just pull off. Oh, there is one more nut underneath. That was a mission. The carb and the inlet manifold does seem to be sitting there okay, which is good. Now for the exhaust manifold, which I'm pretty sure is going to fight me even more because of how rusty those nuts and studs are. I needed to take that heat shield off. There's another couple of nuts hidden behind it. Sweet, the exhaust manifold literally fell off on its own and it's leaning out the way. Now my brake's nearly over, so I need to shoot off in a minute. But before I do, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a head start for next time around here. Alright, so I loosened the tension on the alternator and removed the auxiliary belt, and then I loosened the cam belt tensioner and I've taken the cam belt off of the camshaft, and I've now taken all the bolts out of the rocker cover. Obviously I will be changing the water pump, I will be changing the cam belt, but for now I just need to get the head off so that I can take it to Chris in a couple of days. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much ready now to pull the head off. The head bolts are accessible without removing the cam. Definitely a lot of sludge, mayo type stuff in there. I might actually reuse this rubber gasket because the gasket that came in the kit I bought is actually a cork one. Yeah, and these rubber ones are pretty good. It's fitted by myself and it's never been over torqued, so probably reusable. For now I'll just chuck this back on the engine to keep the dust out. Obviously once the head's done I will be cleaning this out before I run the engine again. But yeah, for now just plonk that back on there, and now I need to tidy up and get back to work. But I will be cracking back on with this job either later on today or tomorrow. Hello, right, so into the evening time, and I've come back round the garage after work to hopefully get the cylinder head off of my dad's engine. Take the rocker cover off, carefully place that on the roof on top of these two cloths, and I've just got these 10 head bolts to undo, and I should just be able to lift the head off. I do actually have a Haynes manual for this car, and I've got the tightening sequence here for the head bolts, and basically to remove the head you need to do it in the reverse order. I don't actually feel that tight. And there it is. All the valves are still present and correct, which is always a good sign. This cylinder here definitely looks more of a rust colour than all the others, and you can see traces of coolant. If you have a look at the bottom end, it's exactly the same, you know. All these are sort of a black colour, whereas this is a more of a rusty or coolant colour. Some sort of blockage going on here with crusty coolant by the looks of it. In fact, there's evidence of that elsewhere as well. Looks like it was in desperate need of a flush. Anyway, I think I'm gonna give this head a bit of a clean with some brake cleaner. Definitely need to make this side a little bit less oily. I need to take this dowel out, make sure we don't lose that. So that will go there. Then I'm gonna wrap it up and take it home with me, and then I'm gonna continue this video in a couple of days when I'll be taking the cylinder head up to see Chris Kember at Clumpfab. Hello, right, so a few days have passed. Roger, the plastic Fiesta, is on van duties today. Got the cylinder head here and all the gaskets and stuff that I bought, and I've got my tools in here because I need to help my dad with something on his Focus later. One thing I do need to grab quickly is the CVH thermostat housing, which is in MORE-BOOR, and she's in her garage. And the reason I'm taking the thermostat housing with me is so that Chris can accurately repair one of the holes that are ruined. For those of you that are new to the channel, Clumpfab is owned by a guy called Chris Kember. who is an absolute wizard when it comes to rust repair, restoration and fabrication, and he's actually taken care of some rust repair on MORE-BOOR, my MORE-BOOR Mark II Escort, and more recently my dad's Mark III Escort. As well as dealing with rust repair and restoration, Chris KEMBER can also take on jobs to do with engines. So if you need a cylinder head crack tested or skimmed, or if you need your cylinder head stripped and cleaned and then your valves relapped back in, yeah, Chris KEMBER can take care of all of that and more. So as soon as I knew I was going to be removing my dad's cylinder head and taking it somewhere to get skimmed, I knew I'd be taking it to Clumpfab. I'm going to leave links in the description of this video to Clumpfab's Facebook and their Instagram, and I'll leave their contact details down there for any of you guys that need any rust repair, restoration, fabrication, or any cylinder head or engine jobs done. I highly recommend you get in touch with Chris at Clumpfab. I've made it to Clumpfab, which is in Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire, where I joined the owner, Chris KEMBER. Welcome back to the channel yet again. How you doing?
Not bad, yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. As usual, got plenty of interesting stuff going on in the Clumpfab workshop at the moment. And I think we'll start with my favourite one of Chris's current projects, this Mark II Escort rally car. I've been following this on Clumpfab's Instagram and Facebook. As I say, it is an ex-rally car and it's coming for some rust repair. Chris has already fitted a new rear panel, a new scuttle panel, and there's some bits going on behind here. Basically, he had to cut away some of this area here so that he could replace this panel in here. It's also had both inner and outer wells, so you've got the spare wheel well over here and the tank well over here. And Chris is also reconstructing this sort of inner arch or tub area. This section of the boot aperture has actually been made from scratch by Chris, and Chris is going to be doing the same thing on this side. It's had a fresh piece put in the rear section of the boot floor where it meets the rear panel. This driver's side has already had a new outer seal welded in by Chris, and he's still got to fit the rally style jack stand hole things, which are sort of welded on there.
So these tubes basically go inside the sill and inner sill, and you have a plate welded on the outside of the car to support it, as well as on the inside to support it. And then when you jack your car up, you put your stands
they put the rally style ones right through there, and means you can get the car really high up. Yeah, when you're working on it at the rally. You can see some metal has been cut out here. Obviously, Chris is going to be plating that. And yeah, as this is a arched car, this bit of the quarter has been bent out all the way round, and then yeah, the inner tub is sort of welded to it like that, and then the arch is riveted on afterwards. The passenger side is going to be having the same treatment as the driver's side has, so an outer seal and tidying up this arch. It was already sort of done in the past, but the owner wants to go slightly lower with the suspension, so yeah, this is the new line of where the arch is going to go.
So the line that's there is where I'm going to be cutting it, and then because I've got to bend the lip up, it'll come up another 10mm for the lip for the inner tubs to spot weld to. Yeah,
I really do love seeing these old rally cars. Got a full bolt-in roll cage. The rear end is turreted, so no more leaf springs. Got the rear disc conversion, and the axle is linked. Cool rally style dash with the cut-off switch and more modern style fuses and aeroplane style flick switches. Currently no engine fitted to this Escort, but apparently it's got a raced up Pinto and a straight cut gearbox. And if we look at the front brakes, which were apparently recently fitted, they are actually AP Racing 4 pots, I would imagine. Now, I'm pretty sure these wheels are the 15-inch 5-spoke Revolution alloys. All right, so I've just been told there is actually another Escort here at Clumpfab, which we'll have a look at in a minute. That's not actually in the workshop at the moment. But what is in the workshop is this Nissan Silvia S14. Hasn't got an engine in the bay at the moment, but apparently this is going to be running a Skyline RB engine. Chris has been taking care of a little bit of rust repair on this. It's had some bits welded in here, and it's had a full outer seal. There's also a section here which was basically only welded in because there was some serious crash damage, and bits in here that Chris has already repaired. The other side is having pretty much the same. Yeah, you can see the rust hole there on the other side, front turret. And here you can see all the rust on the other side sill. And you can see evidence of old patchwork. And this side actually needs a section on the inner seal, which Chris is actually going to fabricate himself. Also in the Clumpfab workshop at the moment is this sunbeam, which Chris tells me isn't a Talbot sunbeam, it's actually a later one. So it's a Chrysler sunbeam. Looks like it's had an interesting life. Got a roll cage in it and stuff. Sort of rally style switch panel. It's actually in really good shape, not much rust around it at all. So this car is going to be having the rear wheel arches, both sides. This one's actually quite solid, but it's had a lot of damage in the past. There's a lot of dents in it, so that's the only reason this side's getting done. A little bit of rust that needs dealing with towards the back of this rear arch though, this bottom of the rear quarter panel. Around the passenger side, again, it's going to be having a rear arch. This was already cut out before it came here to Clumpfab. And yeah, this side's actually going to have the rear part of the sill put in as well. Another couple of bits that need to be done involve the roll cage. So the plates where the roll cage bolts to the rear tub there, they need to be improved. And yeah, where the front legs of this roll cage bolt to the floor, Chris has got to weld in some strengthening pieces to do with that as well. Coming around to the front of the car, how you doing, Loki? Welcome back to the channel. This sunbeam is going to be getting a new front panel. It's not that bad, but it's going a little bit crispy, and these sort of headlight box pieces need to be replaced, although the owner did supply those with the car. Just a bit surface rusty, that's all. You were saying that the front panel might actually come with those bits attached.
Yeah, I'm not
hopefully.
sure yet till it turns up.
Yeah. Again, this one hasn't got an engine fitted, but Chris was telling me that it was fitted with a 1700 engine from a Hillman Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out those wheels, the iconic slot mags. Got a bit of a mini car meet going on around the corner, but we'll crack on. Outside the Clumpfab workshop, can't believe I didn't see this on the way in. But yeah, this is just moved out of Chris's way for today. It's his friend's 4-door Mark II Escort, and Chris has already done a few bits on it. He's welded in a new wing rail, this splash guard piece, quite similar to what Chris did on MORE-BOOR recently actually, and it's also had an outer seal, and Chris still needs to take care of some jobs the other side. Yet another set of cool wheels on this car. Alley cats, love those. This Escort's actually destined to be running a 2-litre ZETEC blacktop, which Chris actually sold to the owner. Yeah, and that engine was going to be fitted to Chris's own project, which is a 100E, but you've decided to go
CA18 deck.
CA18 BET. Yeah, we need to have a good look at your 100E one day on the channel.
Yeah, buried at the moment.
Yeah, he's actually mounted the 100E shell to an MX5 chassis. Yeah, when you get time, we'll get that one on the channel. There is actually another Escort that Chris is working on at the moment. It's a Mk1 Escort, which has been sent away to be dipped, and that will be having some really extensive metal work done. Over here in the corner of the workshop is the floor that's going to be fitted to it. And you're saying it's probably going to need 2 rear quarters, maybe? Potentially. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that project on the Clumpfab social media soon as well. Got a bit of a non-car project over here that Chris has been doing. This is actually legs for some tables in a school, and Chris has had to drill the holes out, and the guy who dropped these off, they're going to take care of doing the wooden tabletops. I see since the last time I was here, you've started building your mezzanine floor.
I've run out of space.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. Good to see things moving forward. Everywhere you look in here, there's cool projects going on. Got this Lambretta body sitting up here on the bench. As you can see in this corner, Chris has got a wide array of proper engineering tools. Got the pillar drill, got a lathe over there, sheet metal bender here, guillotine over there, and a sheet metal roller over here. So yeah, as you can see, and as I've mentioned on the channel loads of times before, Chris really is geared up to do loads of different fabrication jobs. I think now I'll get my dad's cylinder head out the boot and we'll have a look at that. I did give it a squirt of brake cleaner, but there is still oil on it.
What have you done?
So basically you're going to get a guy to plug it up with alley weld and then just re-tap it, yeah?
Re-drill the hole in the right place and re-tap it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's the thermostat housing, so you can get the whole in the correct position. So you'll strip it, pressure test it.
Full work, strip it, pressure test it, relap the valves in while it's all out,
Yeah.
change all the stem seals.
Yeah, and if it is warped, then give it a skim.
Yeah. It'll get a skim anyway.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Pointless not while it's off.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's like traces of coolant
Washing through it, innit?
Yeah, but it's funny when I've done a compression test, they're all even.
Yeah.
Weird.
You see where it's black all around there?
Yeah.
That's where the sealing ring should be on the gasket.
Yeah.
It's gone there.
Right.
It's even gone. Well, it's just starting to go on that one as well.
Yeah. But yeah. Once I took this off and I saw all this, and you know, then I knew I didn't, you know, waste my time by, you know, assuming that I need to take it off. And then obviously once I'd done that, it was inevitable that I'd needed to remove it anyway. I mean, people did say to me, you know, there is other reasons why a CVH will end up with mayo in the oil, like the oil breathers and that getting blocked and stuff like that, which made me think, oh, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions about the head gasket. But as I say, when I got the head off, it sort of reassured me, and that sounds silly, reassured me that the head gasket had gone and it weren't a waste of time taking it off.
Was it overheating on you, was it?
Yeah, like that one day. I got a full like cylinder head gasket kit.
Yeah.
From my friends at Burton Power. This is the oil filter. I don't need to leave that here. Stem seals, is it?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll take the rest of these out your way then. Hopefully the pressure test comes back okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know Monday anyway. I'll pressure test it Monday.
Cool.
That'll be the first thing I'll do, and then you know it's okay or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Even the port here is sort of cleaner than all the others, where it's been washed by the coolant, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Chris, I could literally stay here all day looking at cars, but I know you've got stuff to get on with. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to leave links in the description of this video to the Clumpfab Facebook page and their Instagram. Definitely go and give them a follow to keep up to date with what Chris gets up to. And I'll leave Chris's contact details in the description for any of you guys that need any rust repair, restoration, fabrication, or any cylinder head or engine work done. Other than that, I'm going to get out your way, mate. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take it easy. All right, so Chris reckons my dad's cylinder head will be done in a matter of a few days, but I'm probably going to pick it up in around 3 weeks when I next come up this way to visit my parents. Chris is very kindly going to send me loads of update pics of the cylinder head work though, so yeah, you guys that follow me on Facebook and Instagram will be able to see those. Right now, me and Kat are going to head to my parents' place. My mum is going to cook us some dinner, but there is actually something I need to have a look at on my dad's trusty Mk1 Focus estate, so I'll catch up with you when we get to my parents. All right, so I've made it to my parents' place and I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking at my dad's trusty Mk1 Focus estate. Dad's been complaining that apparently when the car gets up to sort of 40, 50 mile an hour, there's a bit of a misfire. So we're going to take it out first and Dad can show me exactly what's going on. Definitely got quite a bad exhaust blow somewhere. Sounds quite sporty now. Not sure if the blow would cause it to sort of stutter at high speed though, but we'll see. Look at my dad's, can I say bodge on the wing mirror?
Oh yeah,
to
look.
stop it moving.
Yeah,
quality.
yeah.
Quality. The engine management light on. All right, let's take this old bus for a rip and see what's going on. Yeah, definitely some hesitation. I don't think it's speed based, it's more sort of rev based and load based. Yeah. Alright, I think I've seen enough. You know what, the problem's so obvious, which is good, so we'll be able to tell for definite if we solve it. Alright, we'll take it back and get the tools out. First thing I'm going to try in terms of the Focus Estate's misfire is the coil pack. I've got this brand new one that I bought a while ago, Delphi one. I'm just going to temporarily hook this up. I haven't, you know, properly bolted it in or anything. I've just plugged it in here and plugged the HT leads in. Now we'll take the car for another spin, Dad, and see if it's any better. Do you think it sounds better?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It definitely feels better under load than it did, so maybe it was the coil pack. Right, we'll just unplug this and move this out of the way. So hopefully these ain't super tight. Oh, that's all right. Oh, that's too tight.
That was too easy.
Yeah, because you're adding leverage, isn't you? And we use the longer bolts that came with it. Yeah, so it's written on there. Number 4 goes here. 3 goes up there. Number 2 goes up there. Number 1 in there. Let's see if we can arrange these a bit better, a bit neater. Alright, fire it up, Dad. Just check we've got the order right. Sweet. Alright, I'll just put the clip back on to hold the HT leads a bit neater. There you go. That'll be £771 plus VAT, please, Dad. Put it on the tab, yeah?
Yeah, might as well.
Sorted. Although we do still need to figure out where the exhaust blow's coming from. Alright, after some banging grub that was made by my mum, and after chilling out for a couple of hours, me and Kat are going to do the off soon. But before I do leave my parents, I want to see if I can figure out where the exhaust blow is coming from on my dad's Focus. Alright, so I've got to use this standard jack that comes with a car, because Dad doesn't have a trolley jack. Dad's got this dust sheet that I can lay down, protect my MH clobber. It's from more towards the front.
Underneath.
Give it a rev. It sounds like it's coming from near the flexi bit.
That's it.
Sweet. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I know which part of the exhaust is blowing. I wasn't able to get my hand up there to confirm it, but judging by where the sound sounded like it was coming from, I think it is that bit that goes over the subframe that's got the flexi in it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get one of those cheap on eBay. So yeah, I'll probably order one of them and throw that in next time I come down here. Massive thanks to Chris Kember at Clumpfab for taking on the cylinder head work for my dad's CVH cylinder head. You'll be able to see updates on that cylinder head work on my Facebook and Instagram. So if you're not already, definitely follow me on both of those platforms. I'll leave links to my Facebook and Instagram in the description of this video. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. If you did think it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe to keep up to date with all my future uploads. And I'll leave my email address in the description of this video for all you guys that want to get in touch with me. But other than that, until next time, from me and my dad, Steve, thanks for watching.